a dirt bike on trails in Alaska, you are really missing out. Side-by-sides are fun, four-wheelers are fun, but there's nothing like a dirt bike.
We're getting geared up again, ready to go. Met up with my buddy Dylan, and we're going to be borrowing his dirt bike today. About 200 pounds lighter than my motorcycle, so that'll make life a little easier. But yeah, we're going to get geared up and head out on the trail. My buddy Bo was supposed to come today again and backed out, so Bo, come on, dude.
This is the bike I'm borrowing. It's a Honda XR 250. Small bike, but should do great things, so we'll see. I used to have one of these. If you look back at some of my other videos back earlier in the channel, I did a lot of riding with it, and it did really well. I really liked the bike. It's very reliable. But when I went down for Bible college, I ended up selling it so I could pay my school bill. But yeah, very good bike, and yeah, we'll see how it does. Man, riding this dirt bike was incredible. Even the water crossings were way easier than on my motorcycle. The tires on this thing were in good shape also, and it has decent suspension, so that made things go a lot easier. There were other riders out here, so we were being careful in the corners, trying to make sure we had good visibility before we just hammered it through there. Obviously, we don't want to get into a head-on collision with another rig. Up in the mountains anyway, so these roads are a lot of fun doing these small hill climbs on the trail. We're riding a bike that's more catered towards this kind of terrain. It gave me more control over the bike, and I was able to make it do what I wanted it to do. This was one of those if you know you know moments where I hit neutral instead of first gear and had to take a second to get situated and going again on the side of this hill.
Got him in here. Yeah, boy. just like that. This is the spot where I had issues on my bike, so I'm going to come down here instead of coming around it and give it a try. Yeah, no problems. No problems at all. Sneak around over here. We'll go through this little spot.
I mentioned before that these trails have a lot of hills, but just for reference, we started at about 600 feet elevation at the trailhead, and by the time we turned around, we had just crossed over 2,950 feet elevation. I was completely not expecting my front tire to come up like it did, so of course, you have to make a U-turn and try it again. So before riding out here, I actually spent a lot of time on my onX app looking at this area and scoping out the different trails. So this trail looked like it went up this mountain here, and I was going to see if there was any way we could make it up to the top on the dirt bikes. I think there was some junk in the carburetor, and that kept making it bog out on me. You'll notice that here in the rest of the video. on some of these really long hill climbs where I have to downshift a lot and you hear the engine bog out, and that was kind of aggravating. So I'm going to take that apart for Dylan and see if I can't get that fixed.
Come on! Alright. Hate when this happens. Because that usually follows. Alright. This hill is very steep and long. I hit it with the second gear.
Me and Dylan are going to hike up this and see how far we can get up. I'm fat and out of shape, so see how that goes. It's quite a hill. I don't even know how to express how steep this is. You'll just have to trust me when I say it's super steep. There were some places we even had to use our hands and really claw in to get up the hard part. Okay, we left our bikes down on the back side of this hill here, and we've climbed a good ways up, but still got a little ways to go. But it's stinking steep. I don't really know how to explain it. Maybe that. Yeah, right there the camera's level. It's really steep right here. You can hear the marmot barking at us. I don't know if it's the microphone's picking it up with the wind. And that's a long way down. I picked my wife some flowers, so I'm gonna try and carry them back in my backpack. So I'm gonna use an empty water bottle and just try and gently get them in there. And then once I get home, I can cut the bottom of the bottle off and get them out. But this should, in theory, keep them from getting damaged in my backpack. We just got back down from the top of that ridge, and it was really pretty up there. And now my legs hurt because I'm large and out of shape, but we're gonna try and push on up the trail a little ways. We hear somebody else up there on a two-stroke bike. It sounds like he's having a good time, so we're gonna see what we can get into a little further up. It's getting kind of late. No, you can't tell, but it's right about 9 o'clock or so. That sounds a long ways from going down.
All right, well, we're back on the main trail. I'm gonna work our way further in and see what we can get into. Had us a nice couple-hour detour for a little bit and got some really good views and major workout. But yeah, let's see how this goes. I've only seen this trail on satellite maps, so let's see what happens. That won't be so bad. One thing I really like about this trail is it is got a good solid base to it. I'm gonna try that. What's that? Okay, that was scary. Well, there goes my dry feet.
This was the only puddle I found on the trail that was actually deep, and and it was really surprising when I went in there.
Sucks. Should've just gone that way. Hey, don't go that way.
I'm not playing that game.
No, I won't now.
I was hoping you were not going to tip it over.
I know, that would have sucked. I was hoping not get my feet wet, but it just wasn't gonna go.
Yeah.
Wow, this is incredible.
Right there is where we were just at a little bit ago, and obviously we've come a long way. It is just beautiful up here. There's all these little mountain lakes. I saw a couple of ducks over there in that one. This hill coming up here was really weird because I couldn't see over the top of it, and it kind of just went down right after going over the top.
That was a little freaky. Well, let's stay on the trail. We'll sightsee when we stop. Goes off up the valley that way, but I'm not doing that today. It's too late. That was a little more drop than I was ready for. Woo-hoo! thing is steep. It's pretty smooth till you get to the top, but at that point you're straight up and down, so you're good. Oh, come on. All right, I'll show you. Not that hard, Dylan. You can do it. All right, well, that's as far as I'm willing to go tonight. Well, we got in the snow. A little spot here where it all drifted in over top of this little ridge. How far Dylan made it. There he is. You good? It gets really bad. It doesn't go far. Dylan's a great rider, but his bike is a dual sport also, and geared for the street and had street tires on it, so he did as good as he could with that bike. The only bad part about riding in the mountains and doing all these hill climbs is eventually you have to go back down them. And that's not a whole lot of fun, but it's part of it. Man, it's much easier with this bike than with mine.
This is one of those rides that I won't forget anytime soon. I highly recommend getting out on these trails in Alaska and just exploring God's creation. It's so beautiful out here, and there's so much you miss by not getting off the road system. And you don't have to have a dirt bike to do it. There's so many places you can see and explore, hiking also. But definitely get outside and go explore it. There's so much here to see. Well, if you enjoyed that, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to follow along for our next adventure.